Hi friends, my name is attorney Marina Shepelsky and I'm an immigration lawyer in New York City working with all the 50 states. As you probably heard, USCIS is at this point accepting copies and scans of every document. Immigration courts are working remotely. We're now uploading all the paperwork, and that means we're able to help many people living in every state of the United States without any problems. So we welcome you to become our client. If you have an immigration case, give us a call for a consultation. But today's video is about everything about men and VAWA, right? Men who are petitioning as victims in bad marriage to a US citizen or even a green card holder lady or same-sex marriage. Either way, it works, okay? So today's show is about how men can win VAWA. First of all, I'm just gonna go through a bunch of questions I get from all of you guys every day. I get questions on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, from people who are still learning about what VAWA is and how men can use VAWA. And at this point, about 45% of our clients are men, which means about half of the people struggling in terrible abusive relationships are men. VAWA is not just for women. So right off the bat, what is VAWA, right? Maybe you don't even know what VAWA is. Let me tell you, VAWA is short for Violence Against Women Act. It's a law that US Congress passed 29 years ago. And interestingly enough, our current president, Joe Biden, was a senator at the time, and he was one of the two senators who sponsored this bill, right? So Violence Against Women Act was meant to help women who are victims of abusive marriages. But of course, we live in America and we don't discriminate based on gender. So at this point, both men and women can use VAWA to file a special form I-360 and self-petition, petition for themselves without their abusive spouse, without their abuser, wife who is mistreating them, and get themselves a work permit and a green card through this process. Now, this process takes about 2 to 3.5 years, depends on how lucky you are, really, nothing else. And sometimes cases that have a lot of evidence, like a lot of paperwork of the proof of the marriage and abuse right off the bat, they do move quicker, but some cases take 3-4 years. I had one that took 1.5 years, and then the same week I had somebody who was approved, a man from Romania, after 4 years. So sometimes you can't predict the time, but at this juncture, I just wanted to explain that men and women can use VAWA. So VAWA self-petition is the form I-360 we file to tell USCIS that you are in a marriage with a US citizen or green card holder, that you've been together, it's a real marriage, and the person abused you. Now, what does abuse mean as a term for this kind of process? Obviously, it means physical abuse, but not always. It could be mental, it could be financial, it could be manipulation, it could be blackmail, threats. It could be anybody who is, controlling your money, taking all your money away from you. Somebody who doesn't let you speak to your friends or your cousins or your family or your parents or your siblings, or doesn't want you to have anything to do with your children from your first marriage or prior relationships. All of that is abuse, and it's not right. And if you're living in that kind of situation, even if you're a male, that doesn't mean you have to take it. This is why this process was created, to help you get out of this really tough situation. Now, the next question I get is, what do I have to prove, the person who is the petitioner, to be able to file for VAWA self-petition? 3 major things. Number 1, you have to prove you lived in a real marriage through paperwork, okay? You have to show leases, bank statements. Maybe you flew together, you have tickets, you have photos, any proof that you lived together in this marriage, and then the person was a US citizen or green card holder and you were married. Even if it turns out, which we've seen a lot, that the person somehow was already married to someone else. Even if it turns out that maybe the marriage ceremony is not real. You thought it was a real marriage ceremony, but they did something that tricked you, and it actually wasn't a real marriage registration. Even in those situations, we can get you VAWA. So that's number one. Marriage to a U.S. citizen or green card holder, prove it by papers. Number two, abuse. And the abuse, as I mentioned, could be anything from financial to controlling, physical too, obviously. So if you filed a police report, if you went to the police, if you have a restraining order or order of protection, in many of our cases, we end up filing for divorce from the abuser based on the abuse. There are special kinds of reasons you can include in your divorce to show that you are not just separating and going your separate ways. You're actually getting divorced because the person treated you badly, cruelly. This was abusive. And many states, like where we are, New York, New Jersey, has that kind of a divorce. Not every state. For example, California does not. But we can help you figure out your divorce situation that will help you in case you don't have the police report, in case you don't have a restraining order. And another major part of the abuse part of this case is you need to go to a psychologist for therapy and for an evaluation of your situation. And part 3 of this is to prove that you are a person of good moral character. First of all, that means a police clearance, a must. You cannot do this kind of case without having a police clearance. But even if you had minor arrests, especially if they were related to abuse, and that's like the latest changes in the VAWA. If there was an arrest, but it had to do something with the abuse you experienced, that's probably going to be okay too, as long as you're honest about it. You disclose it, you tell the truth that you had an arrest and you explain it. But police clearance is number 1 on the list of how do we prove good moral character. Number 2, if you were in a soup kitchen, you help volunteer somewhere, if you were an essential worker right now because of COVID, I have a man client right now from Albania who is actually like in the construction business, and they clean hospitals, they do snow plowing and removal, they do roofing for hospitals in the New York area. They have special hospital ID. That's proof of good moral character. We add things like that to the cases to show the government this is a good guy. He deserves this VAWA relief, this saving from the situation. He deserves a green card because he works in the hospital industry and helps. I have questions here, so I want to address them in this video. Can I get lawful permanent residence, a green card, through VAWA? The answer is absolutely, because otherwise why do all this, right? There are different situations where we file for a green card or do something else when filing for VAWA, but most of our clients, we file for VAWA and green card in the same package. That means you get the work permit and advance parole, even if you came to the United States without a visa. Even if you had something else that was wrong with how you entered, or maybe you entered with one of those crewman's visas, you can get the advance parole even if you overstayed the visa. You came with a visa, but like you stayed out of status for years. Because you filed for VAWA, you're allowed to file for green card, a work permit, and advance parole travel document if you're eligible, all in one package. Who is not eligible? If you have a prior order of deportation, we first win the VAWA for you. Then we go back to court and reopen your old deportation. Again, this is for men especially, right? This video is for men who are victims of VAWA, but everything I'm talking about, of course we do for women as well. But I just wanted to get the men out there to feel like they are part of this process, that you guys are not excluded. You are included. You're allowed to do VAWA, get your advance parole, get your work permit. I have people I work with every day that I help in these situations. And it makes my life so good to know that I can help men and women who are suffering in those situations. I really love helping people, like especially when we start the process and then I tell them, I call them and I go, congratulations, you won your VAWA case. And they're like, oh my God, Marina, it's been 3 years. My life is so different. Thank you, you got me my work permit. Thank you, I had a chance to see my family because of the advance parole. I used it to go to Mexico, to Romania, to Belarus, to Senegal, and I went to visit my parents and I saw my brothers and sisters. My soul is better. That makes me so happy. That's why I want to make these videos, to get the word out there that men can be helped through VAWA just like women. Next question, can I work legally if I file VAWA? The answer is absolutely. As I just explained, you get your work permit and you work legally while VAWA is pending. 2 years, 3 years, whatever. You're legal, you have a work permit, you will get your driver's license, you will get your advanced parole, you can go to school, you can become a trucker, you can become a school teacher, you can do anything else that you want to do while you wait for VAWA. Except vote. Do not vote until you become a US citizen. Next. Can family members be included in the VAWA petition? Absolutely. If you have children from a first marriage who are still illegal, or they're living in your old country, in your home country, those children will be included with you in your petition, and you can get them green cards pretty much at the same time with you. A little later. It takes a little longer for them if they live somewhere else. If they live in the United States, they're going to get it at the same time with you. So your children, even from other marriages, can be included in this process and get green cards along with you. Again, can men qualify? I think I discussed it. Men can definitely qualify for VAWA. And what happens if I don't qualify for VAWA, right? So if you don't win your case, what happens? Most of the times we appeal and we win an appeal, okay? I don't think I've ever had a case where I didn't feel strongly, about the case and I appealed it and we didn't win it. Even if once in a while things get denied, and at this point statistics are we win about 90 to 93% of our cases over the years. We have statistics, right? Out of those other maybe like 7%, we still win them on appeal if we take this case and we strongly believe it, right? And most of my cases I believe in, otherwise we wouldn't take them. We have a big team that can help you. We train everyone in our office, from paralegals to legal secretaries to the attorneys. We have a big team to help you win your VAWA case. If you're a man and a woman, give us a call. And the final question is, what happens if I do get approved for VAWA? If I win VAWA, what happens? If you have an old order of deportation, we will reopen it and you will get a green card. If you never filed for anything before VAWA, we'll just get you a green card. If we switched you from your family petition by the abuser to VAWA, like if they filed for you and then you had to file for VAWA because they were abusive to you, right? You will get your green card at the same time pretty much as you would have gotten it through the family petition. So there's really no losing here. You have every chance to become a green card holder and work legally in the United States. We welcome you. If you're a man or woman, obviously, it's just that this video was specifically directed to the guys out there. Good luck, and we hope to see you soon.